Mendez here with Hands and Feet Drum Lessons. Why the name Hands and Feet? Because that's where the nails went through Jesus. Now, in the basic lessons on the video that I posted, I was teaching you guys how to count the subdivisions and the basic subdivisions that we use as drummers: quarter notes, eighth notes, and 16th notes. So if you haven't watched that video, I will put a link down below so that you can go and get the information there to help build you to this lesson. Now, what my right hand is doing is I'm basically counting out eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I'm placing them on the hi-hats here. If you don't have drums, all I want you to do is use your right knee as a pad, a surface. Drumming is remembering and memorizing different motor skills and functions with both your feet and your two hands. Believe it or not, I have taught many people how to play drums without even spending a lot of time around the drum set. It's basically memorizing motor skills. You can practice while you're driving, you can practice while you're sitting down waiting for somebody or at an event, and that's what's cool about drumming. I don't need a guitar or a keyboard or power. It's all right here with your God-given drum. You're a walking drum set. So eighth notes on the right hand, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I want your left hand to come down on 2 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now I'm gonna post a link to 8 basic grooves that are on mostly all church worship songs. Let me grab that for you. It's actually right here. So you are going to see a sheet that looks similar to this, and it's broken down in 8 grooves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you can't see that, it's okay. I will explain more in a minute. So the secret to playing multiple eighth note rock grooves is changing the bass drum. What I want you to do from now on, the eighth note groove that we're going to be playing is eighth notes on the right hand,
one and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 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 and.
Now I want you to count out loud 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you are counting 2 subdivisions. You're counting the quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're counting the eighth notes as well. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'm not going to count out loud because it interferes with the recording. Just follow along with me. And when you're ready, throw that left hand on 2 and 4.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2.
Okay, so if you've gotten that far along where you can do that together, you have just played 90% of 1,000 songs by just keeping that going. The eighth note, we're going to call that the eighth note groove. Basically, eighth notes on the hats, 2 and 4 on the snare. That top, right hand and left hand, is what you're going to be playing on all of these grooves. The only thing that I'm changing is the kick drum. So groove 1, this is going on top. Groove 2, groove 3. Nothing's changing on all 8 grooves. The only thing that we're going to be changing is the kick drum. So for starters, what I have learned is that this is actually harder to do than I thought. So we're going to work on it first. When you get the sheet, groove number 2, the kick drum is kicking on all the quarter notes. So we're going to start off with our top.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1.
Now, the hard part is I'm going to put the kick drum on all the quarter notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if you saw the previous video, you learn how to count quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, this is going to be probably a very difficult task for most, because now you have your right leg and your hands going at the same time, and you're going to start to see that your brain is not going to is going to get so confused. But we're going to hang out there. 7 to 10 minutes of practice will get your hands and your feet doing different things memorized. They call it muscle memory, but after some research, there's no such thing. It's basically memorizing motor skills for different limbs. So we're going to give it a shot. I'm going to start out with the hats. Then I'm going to add the snare drum on 2 and 4. Then I'm going to start adding the kick drum. And you're going to see that hey, that's a pretty nice groove, because a lot of worship songs we do in our church have that. So they call that 4 on the floor, because you're playing the bass drum on all the quarter notes, 4 quarter notes. So here we go. Follow along.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and.
So that's it for today's lesson. 4 on the floor groove, 8 notes on the hats, 2 and 4 on the snare.